Welcome to my presentation, Ban on Immigration, Health Disparities, and Institutional Discrimination. Most of you may already know about the controversies regarding President Trump's ban on immigration and refugees entering the United States. While the country seems divided on the issue, I think new immigration policies adds to racial health disparities, limits access to health care, and is an institutional discrimination. So far, Mr. Trump has held to his promise of extreme vetting of the refugee population. In September of 2017, Trump issued his third travel ban. A federal judge who publicly disapproved wrote, "This travel ban suffers from precisely the same modalities as its predecessor, meaning that the order is still deemed unconstitutional and unlawful." On December 4th, 2017, the Supreme Court ruled that the third version of the immigration ban can take effect while cases against it work their way through the legal system. During this process, the administration identified countries that pose a potential security risk to the United States. On the list is Iran, Chad, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. The majority of citizens from Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen, and Somalia now face either outright bans from entering the United States or experience significant restrictions and additional scrutiny. For immigrants that are already living in the United States, newly arrived or not, with or without visas, with or without permission to be here, President Trump's immigration ban and ban on refugees coming from specific countries and threats of deportation negatively affect the health of this population. In a recent study published in 2016 from the Journal of Transcultural Nursing, they found that immigrants have a negative health trajectory due to interactions between immigration policies and of the immigration experience alone, not to mention health disparities once they are integrated into our society. The immigration ban and ban on refugees has been ongoing for the most part since Trump took office in January of 2017. Initially, President Trump expressed his desire to prevent Muslim immigration, quote unquote, and wanting a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States, quote unquote. To some, his words were undeniably racist and suggest discrimination against people who are of Muslim faith. The Kaiser Family Foundation reports that people of color face significant disparities in access to and utilization of care. More than 4 in 10 non-elderly individuals living in the United States are people of color. Blacks and American Indians and Alaska Natives fare worse than whites on the majority of examined measures of health status and outcomes. Despite coverage gains under the ACA, non-elderly Hispanics, Blacks, and American Indians and Alaska Natives remain significantly more likely than whites to be uninsured. Altogether, the data shows that people of color continue to face significant disparities in access to and utilization of care, health status, health outcomes, and health coverage. Almost half of all immigrants, defined as non-citizen immigrants, are uninsured. Because so many immigrants lack insurance, they face serious barriers to medical care and pay more out of pocket when they receive care, or they just avoid the healthcare system altogether. Because systematic discrimination is similar to institutional discrimination, I have added the definition. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, a government-based program, defines systematic discrimination as involving a pattern or practice, policy, or class case where the alleged discrimination has a broad impact on an industry, profession, company, or geographical area. They even recognize on their website that a strong nationwide systematic program is critical to fulfilling its mission of eradicating discrimination. Institutional discrimination. This refers to the unjust and discriminatory mistreatment of an individual or group of individuals by society and its institutions as a whole, through unequal selection or bias, intentional or unintentional, as opposed to individuals making conscious choice to discriminate. In my opinion, the immigration ban fuels Trump, like-minded Americans motivated by hate, racism, and fear, and further promotes forms of discrimination. Some of you may be thinking, these issues are too large to fix. Going up against institutional discrimination is impossible. Solving health disparities is too complicated. These issues can be improved. Using key concepts from The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, I'm going to tell you how applying his tipping points can help decrease racial health disparities, increase health care access, and tip institutional discrimination in the other direction. The first concept is the law of the few. There are 3 types of people that Gladwell says contributes to spreading epidemics. Connectors, people who collect acquaintances. Mavens are people who collect knowledge to help other people. Salesmen, simply there to persuade. The law of the few in addressing the issues. Using the concept, the law of the few, I have chosen the connector to be the public health department in playing a key role in connecting individuals at risk for racial health disparities with others who can help improve their situation. I see the others as hospitals, human rights advocacy, healthcare services, and mental health counseling, just to name a few. One of the public health department's roles in the socio-ecological model is to link individuals with and provide care under assurance. The epidemiologist is the maven. Mavens influence others by spreading valuable information to others. Epidemiologists do the same thing. Epidemiologists will play a major role in monitoring how the immigration ban affects racial health disparities and access to health care. After identifying the issue, an investigation would happen, followed with the plan on how to improve racial health disparities. Epidemiologists are key players in the socio-ecological model, under assessment by monitoring health, investigating, and diagnosing public health-related issues. News reporters and other sources of media are extremely important in addressing issues that involve the health of the public. Typically, there are people who have a natural ability to influence the general public and have a way of persuading a message however they pitch the idea. First, they are key players in informing the general public about the latest news on the immigration ban, Donald Trump, and refugee status. Secondly, they can educate the public about important issues like racial health disparities, inequalities in healthcare, and discrimination. Gladwell says there are 10 critical factors that make any product sticky or infectious. Uniqueness, aesthetics, association, engagement, excellence, expressive value, functional value, nostalgic value, personification, and cost. I believe organizations like Healthy People 2020, the CDC, and the Kaiser Family Foundation really utilize the 10 critical factors I mentioned in the previous slide. They all work really hard at addressing current health disparities here in the United States and around the globe. Their websites, videos, and campaigns are sticky and effective in delivering important messages that the general public will understand. The spread of an epidemic, not literally in this case, will depend on whether the context of the message is right. For example, the Trump administration has gained a victory in the U.S. Supreme Courts, as the latest travel ban has now gone into effect, proving they got the context of his executive order right this time. As legal challenges against the ban in lower courts proceed, the power of context may play a role again. We can only hope that the power behind discrimination speaks loud and clear. Discrimination against Muslims is a violation of the U.S. Constitution and is not permissible under immigration laws. Thank you for viewing my presentation.